Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome SEG Honors and Awards Committee Chairman, Steve Hill.
Well, it's a delight for me to say good afternoon to all of my friends who are here. Good afternoon on behalf of the Honors and Awards Committee. I welcome our esteemed recipients, their guests, and our audience to this, the 2015 Honors and Awards Ceremony. The Honors Awards process of the Society of Exploration Geophysicists is a very proud tradition of our organization. Nothing so clearly states who we are and what we value as the honors and awards we choose to give. The people and the institutions we honor represent our common ideals through their work and their actions. In short, they represent the best of us. The honors and awards process must be absolutely apolitical, thoughtful, and thorough. I can tell you it's not an easy task because there are many possible candidates. Each year, the Honors and Awards Committee must determine who among our members will receive awards. The process depends heavily on our membership for nominations and recommendations. Much research is done to ensure that the process is equitable. Therefore, it's delightful for me to thank my fellow committee members, Klaus Koster, Bob Hartage, David Monk, and Don Steeples. As is the case with all SEG members, these are exemplary individuals. I now invite our SEG president, Christopher Leiner, to join me on the stage. The first part of our Honors and Awards program recognizes those members who have served our society in distinguished programs during the past year. These are our flagship professional development programs provided by the SEG as part of our commitment to our membership. A committee is devoted to the task of selecting these presenting members. The Distinguished Instructor Short Course, abbreviated as DISC, is an 8-hour, one-day presentation on a topic of current and widespread interest. Through the year, the selected member presents that single topic at more than 25 worldwide locations. Selection as a DISC instructor is a major honor and recognition of professional excellence by the SEG. Through the end of 2015, Oz Yilmaz presented the 2015 DISC. So I invite Oz to the stage. The title of his DISC offering was Engineering Seismology with Applications to Geotechnical Engineering. In addition to this yearly DISC offering, the Society also provides 2 international distinguished lecture series, one in the spring and one in the fall. Selection as an instructor in this program is a major honor and recognition again of excellence by the Society. In addition to recognizing individuals' contributions to the science or application of geophysics, the Distinguished Lecture Series actively promotes geophysics, stimulates general scientific and professional interest, expands technical horizons, and provides a connection to SEG activities and practice. The spring 2015 Distinguished Lecture was Jean Villot. Jean addressed, and this is the title of his presentation, Hierarchical Seismic Imaging, a multi-scale approach. I should mention a recording of this presentation is available on the SEG website. We invite John to now come to the stage. Complementing that lecture series, we have one again in the fall. And our fall distinguished lecturer is Dmitry Beyots. His lecture is entitled Full Waveform Inversion, Challenges, Opportunities, and Impact. I invite Dmitry to the stage. In addition to the discourse and the 2 honorary lectures, we also have a companion program called the Distinguished Lecture Series. Each of the 5 honorary lectures focuses within a certain geographic region. This regional focus strengthens the services that the SEG provides to our membership and our expanding global membership at that. This afternoon, we recognize the following individuals for advancing the science and technology of geophysics in their respective regions. Sergio Chavez Perez is the 2015 Honorary Lecturer for Central and South America. Sergio's lecture is entitled Seismic Bandwidth Extension and Resolution Improvement, What Works? Sergio, we invite you to the stage. Evgeny Landa is the 2015 lecturer for Europe. Evgeny's lecture is titled Pitfalls and Challenges of Seismic Imaging. A recording of this lecture is also available at the SEG website. Unfortunately, Evgeny is unable to attend here this afternoon, but let's honor him with our applause anyway. Alfred Li is our 2015 honorary lecturer for the Middle East and Africa. Elijah's lecture is entitled Near Surface Geophysics, a high-fidelity tool for engineering environmental and hydrological problems. Elijah, we invite you to the stage. Dan Whitmore is the 2015 Honorary Lecturer for North America. Dan's lecture is titled Concepts and Applications of Imaging with Multiples and Primaries. Unfortunately, Dan is unable to join us this afternoon to accept his award, but let's recognize him. Greg Beresford, the 2015 Honorary Lecturer for the Pacific South, has a lecture entitled Some Interesting Concepts Associated with Seismic Seafloor Acquisition. Also, Greg is unable to join us here this afternoon, but let's honor him. Naidi Pan, the 2015 Honorary Lecturer for South and East Asia, has a lecture entitled Broadband Marine, Seismic and Beyond, with focus of wave theory and multi-component streamer-based solutions and applications. Guillaume Cambois will accept the award for Naidi. In addition to the 5 regions that we've covered so far, we also support a distinguished lecture in the field of near-surface geophysics. Hans Rudi Maurer is the 2015 Near-Surface Honorary Lecturer. Hans Rudi's lecture is entitled The Curse of Dimensionality in Exploring the Subsurface. Unfortunately, he is unable to attend, but let's honor him. This Honors and Awards program now presents our selected colleagues with the Society's highest honors for their contributions to the science, to industry, and to the profession. The bar is set high for these awards. Those being honored here today were first nominated by you, the members, and then researched by the Honors and Awards Committee. The Honors and Awards program booklet contains complete citations for the following recipients. I invite you to review the citations in the booklet because they contain much greater detail than what I will, in fact, portray. The Outstanding Educator Award honors a maximum of 2 individuals for excellence in geophysics education. It's awarded to members for their educational qualities and contributions. This year, 2 members are being honored as outstanding educators. The first Outstanding Educator Award recipient is Monica Prasad. Monica is a member of the Petroleum Engineering Department at Colorado School of Mines, and also a contributing member to the Colorado School of Mines Center for Rock Abuse. Through her teaching and research, she engages the next generation of industry professionals using her clear understanding of rock physics and her insightful questioning of her students. Monica, I invite you to the stage. The second Outstanding Educator Award recipient is Jing. After Xi founded Geothermal, he became a professor at China's University of Science and Technology, where he founded the Geophysical Research Institute, increasing the geophysics faculty from 5 to 25, and graduate students from 0 to 81. Additionally, he founded a Stanford, USTC, MIT program which promotes academic and cultural exchange among students and faculty from among these 3 universities. I now invite Ji to the stage. 0 to 81 graduate students. That's quite an accomplishment. The J. Karcher Award recognizes significant contributions to our science and technology by a young geophysicist. And our bylaws define young as a member less than 35 years of age. This year, we are honoring 3 geophysicists whose abilities have earned them the respect of their peers beyond their years. The first recipient of the Karcher Award is Herman Robino. Herman has published 14 papers on attenuation and thin bed response in peer-reviewed international journals as first author, and he's contributed 7 additional papers as co-author. Moreover, he's published and contributed to 25 conference proceedings. This certainly puts me to shame, I must add. I now invite Herman to the stage. Also receiving the Karcher Award this afternoon is Joost van der Noot. Joost has published 8 papers on interferometry and multiple removal in peer-reviewed international journals as first author, and has contributed as co-author for an additional 11 papers. Adding to this, he has 6 papers that are currently under review, yielding a total of 25 journal papers. Moreover, he's published and or contributed to 76 peer-reviewed conference proceedings. He not only has received SEG's award for Best Student Presentation in 2009, but also the overall Best Presentation Award in 2010. 2009 and 2010. Boy, these guys are really humiliating me. Receiving 2 prestigious awards like this in 2 years in a row is a significant recognition of both his excellence in research and his presentation skills. I invite Joost now to the stage. The final recipient of the Karcher Award this year is for Yingxia Jing. Yingxia has published 11 papers on characterization of fractured reservoirs in peer-reviewed international journals as first author, and has contributed as co-author to 3 other papers. He's also published and contributed to 27 conference proceedings and has been recognized with several prestigious awards. Yingxia, please come to the stage. Well, with these 3, you've seen a sampling of our future. While each of the Karcher recipients has had an enviable numerical publication record, it's the science in those publications that's most meaningful. We now turn to the Society's Life Membership awardees. The SEG's Life Membership is conferred on members who voluntarily rendered exceptional meritorious service to the Society. This year, the Society confers Life Membership to 2 members whose efforts are well known to most of the members in this room. The first recipient of Life Membership is Alfred Li. Alfred tremendously contributed to our society through volunteering and serving on many committees, including the SEG Executive Committee. Alfred also is key in SEG achieving success in China over the years. He has coordinated efforts in China for SEG since the initiation of the SEG China office, and has helped SEG deal with numerous challenges during that interval. I now invite Alfred to the stage. The second recipient of Life Membership is Terry Young. Terry has tremendously contributed to our society, serving as SEG president and serving on many other committees for over a decade. Terry is the chair of the Colorado School of Mines Geophysics Department, preparing our future generation. Unfortunately, Terry is unable to attend to accept his award, but let's recognize Terry. The SEG gives its Distinguished Achievement Award to a company or an institution for contributions that have substantially advanced the science of exploration geophysics. We present the Distinguished Achievement Award to the Applied and Environmental Geophysics Group at the ETH Institute of Geophysics, under the leadership of Dr. Alan Green from 1992 to 2012. The Applied and Environmental Geophysics Group significantly added to the field of near-surface geophysics. They pioneered developments in environmental design, experimental design of electrical resistance tomography, the use of land streamers, 3D GPR, and near-surface seismic reflection. They also contributed to the fields of seismic and ENAM modeling, joint inversion of multiple data sets, full waveform inversion of GPR data, surface nuclear magnetic resonance tomography, and impressively, the list goes on. In addition, their young researchers matured into leaders in multiple professions. Accepting this award on behalf of the Center for Applied and Environmental Geophysics is Alan Green and two of his associates. We invite you now to the stage. Alan well recognized that the success is due to a team effort. SEG's Cecil Green Enterprise Award recognizes the importance of entrepreneurs to the economic vitality of our profession. It is given to those who have demonstrated courage, ingenuity, and achievement, and this comes from the bylaws, while risking their own resources and future in developing a product, a service, or an organization or an activity which is a distinct and worthy contribution to the industry. This year, the SEG presents Jeff Dorn with the Cecil Green Enterprise Award for his entrepreneurial spirit and success. I'll tell you a little bit about the background. In 2006, Jeff moved from academia to private industry by founding TerraSpark Geosciences. This company researched and prototypes new seismic interpretation and 3D visualization methods. Giving up a paying job and at times going without a salary, Jeff initially worked in his basement. Almost all of the startup capital came from Jeff's own savings. In 2010, with venture capital investment, he founded TerraSpark Geosciences to commercialize that research. In both cases, he performed all the duties of a founder. He developed a strategic plan, risked his own money to fund the enterprise, and managed the company. The methods and software that Jeff created have been leading-edge contributions to the interpretation of seismic data worldwide. In 2014, TerraSpark was acquired by CGG. I invite Jeff to the stage. The Reginald Fessenden Award is given for a specific technical contribution to exploration geophysics, such as an invention or a theoretical or conceptual advance that merits special recognition. We present the Reginald Fessenden Award to Eloise Lynn for her 35-year career of translating the anisotropic behavior of seismic waves into practical applications that allow stress fields, fracture systems, and geomechanical properties to be characterized in targeted rock systems. She has described her research findings in many oral presentations and in 47 published papers that collectively create an invaluable knowledge base for scientists, researchers, students, teachers, and exploration geophysicists. Eloise? Honorary membership is awarded for distinguished contributions to exploration geophysics or to the advancement of the profession through service to the society. Being the highest level of membership, the bylaws require that both the Honors and Awards Committee and the Board of Directors unanimously approved these awards. 4 individuals have been chosen to receive honorary membership this year. The first honorary membership recipient is Douglas Fraser. Douglas introduced multi-coil frequency domain EM to the geophysics community. His methods are used to interpret dip and depth of massive sulfide mineral deposits and to estimate apparent resistivity. His methods have become industry standard. His contributions allow explorers to use airborne electromagnetic methods to look for gold and other targets with subtle signatures, which require an understanding of the surrounding geology. Unfortunately, Doug is unable to be here to accept his award, but let's recognize him. The second recipient of honorary membership is Muriel Sen. Muriel pioneered application of stochastic optimization methods for seismic waveform inversion, gravity, interpretation, and seismic migration velocity analysis. In addition to serving as University of Texas professor, Muriel has served as director of the National Geophysical Research Institute of India. Muriel, we invite you to the stage. The next recipient of honorary membership is Ilya Zvankin. Ilya has contributed to the Society as a scientist, an educator, and a volunteer. In 1996, the Society recognized Ilya with the Kaufman Medal for developing a foundation of seismic processing for transversely isotropic media. Since that time, Ilya's research extends to more complicated orthorhombic models, advanced fracture characterization methods, and anisotropic attenuation analysis. Ilya, we invite you to the stage. I should add, families be proud. All of these people who I've mentioned and will mention are exemplary members of our society and exemplary contributing individuals. The final recipient of honorary membership this year is Anton Tsiolkovsky. Anton is professor of petroleum geoscience at the University of Edinburgh. He has contributed to developments in acquisition and processing of both seismic and controlled source electromagnetic data through his approach to measurement of the source signature, including dynamite, land and marine fiber size, air gun, and electromagnetic current dipoles. He has co-founded MTEM Limited, a provider of electromagnetic services. This company was later acquired by PGS. I invite Anton now to the stage. Another note to families, if you're not understanding some of the descriptions I've mentioned, that's fine. Be proud of them because they have really contributed. The Virgil Kaufman Gold Medal goes to a person or persons who've made an outstanding contribution to the advancement of science of geophysical exploration as manifested within the previous 5 years. Again, this is from our bylaws. Notice the words as manifested within the previous 5 years. Sometimes we're slow to catch on to the value of some contributions. This contribution can be technical or professional in nature. The recipient of the Virgil Kaufman Gold Medal is H. Eustace Rosemont. Eustace received the Kaufman Gold Medal receives the Kaufman Gold Medal for his development of slip sweep procedure that allows increased data recording productivity with vibroseis sources. His slip sweep concept demonstrated that high-quality vibroseis data can be acquired from several vibroseis vibrators stationed at the same time, but in a reduced time span. This forms as a conceptual foundation for continued advances in increased data production rates with vibroseis sources. I now invite Eustace to the stage. Yes.
Good afternoon. So this is how you become a famous geophysicist. You think of something smart and you just wait 20 years and then the awards will come rolling in. Those of you who know me know that I've actually left geophysics 10 years ago to pursue a career in classical music, and I do now things in New Zealand, like conducting orchestras. And as a conductor, I'm actually quite used to getting applause every now and then, but the applause in a concert hall is a bit perfunctory. Today's applause does mean a lot more to me, I have to say. Now, a conductor doesn't receive an applause for himself. He actually receives it on behalf of the orchestra that stands behind him. And likewise, my presence here today, there's an army of people behind that have contributed to make slip sweep acquisition to the success it is today. And I'm not going to rattle off a long list of names, but I would like to single out the name of Patrick Burger from Cercel. He, in the very early days of slip sweep, when it was still unproven technology, he gave it an instrumental push in the right direction, allowing it to overcome those the inevitable resistance that new technology always experiences. So there's many other people. I'm thinking, for example, on all those anonymous people on the seismic crews. For example, the observers who have to sit in the dog box for the whole day long and deal with the excessive stress of the enormous data acquisition pace that we are expecting of them, or indeed the Omani workforce who has to plant thousands of geophone stations every day, sometimes in the soaring heat of 50 degrees centigrade in the Omani desert. I'm not quite sure what that translates to in Fahrenheit, but I'm sure that's pretty hot in Fahrenheit too. As just mentioned, initially or conceptually, the virtual Kaufman Award is for something that was done recently. And here I am standing more than 20 years after I invented the slip sweep, working for PDO. And of course, that's a little bit amusing in some ways, but it also actually makes me very moved and very touched that so long after all that happened, that the SEG still took the trouble to find me in New Zealand, to seek me out, and to rescue me from geophysical oblivion. So thank you very much, SEG. Thank you all very much. And if you need a conductor, just give me a call. Thank you.
How you doing? The highest honor bestowed by our society is the Maurice Ewing Medal. The Ewing Medal recognizes a career that's consistently produced distinguished contributions that advanced both the science and the profession of exploration geophysics. Like honorary membership, it requires a unanimous vote of both the Honors and Awards Committee and also the SEG Board of Directors. This year, the Society of Exploration Geophysics is proud to present the Maurice Ewing Medal to Monik Talwani. I'll now tell you a little bit about the background. Monik has received an amazing list of awards, including the James B. McElwaney Award from the American Geophysical Union, the Alfred Wegener Medal from the European Union of Geoscience, the George P. Woolard Award from the Geological Society of America, the Krishnan Medal from the Indian Geophysical Union, among many others. In addition, he's been awarded fellowship in several professional societies and an honorary doctorate of philosophy from the University of Oslo. He has served on an impressive list of professional positions, including Director of Geotechnical Research Institute of the Houston Advanced Research Center, Chief Scientist at Gulf Research and Development Company, Director of Lamont Doherty Geological Observatory, and a Schlumberger Professor at Rice University. He's published more than 150 articles on a wide array of geophysical topics and has edited 7 geophysical books. Monik has served the SEG for many years, most recently as the chair of the SEG's Advanced Modeling Corporation. I now invite Monik to the stage.
Thank you for that introduction. And
Over to the microphone, please.
thank you very much. My friend Mark Zobak once told me on the occasion of another award that these awards are made on a random basis. Besides, there is a question as to the age at which these awards are given. A question that was brought home to me in an interesting way. More than 20 years ago, my wife was giving German instructions to students who happened to be mainly from this industry. She wrote her name, Ani Talwani, on the blackboard. One of the students asked her after the class if she knew Monik Talwani. Oh, yes, she said, he's my husband. No, that's not possible. He's either very old or he has been dead a long time. So she comes home and says, Schatz, Schatz is treasure in German, we called each other Schatz. I've been noticing that you've been looking a little old. Another time she comes back from the class and relates that another student asked her how come her name was Talwani. And when she told him that's my husband, he said, no, that cannot be. There's no such person. Talwani is just the name of a method. So random or not, a method or not, I'm delighted that the selection committee and the board ignored these baseless rumors about my having departed or Talwani being just a method and found out that I was still around and made this award. I'm truly thankful and delighted. One does not qualify for an award such as this by oneself. There are a large number of people, too numerous to name individually: students, teachers, associates, collaborators, detractors, and I especially value detractors because they get adrenaline going that is necessary for research, from whom I have learned a great deal, and without whose help and association this award would not have been possible. I would like to mention the names of 2 people from this industry with whom I have collaborated in recent years. One is Dan DiFrancesco, an engineer from Lockheed Martin who introduced me to Lockheed Gravity Gradiometer. It was fun to work with him. The other is Ed Biegert from Shell. It was also fun working with him in the interpretation and use of gravity gradients. I also need to mention 2 very special people. One was my professor, Maurice Ewing, in whose name this award has been given. As a teacher, he was unique. Let me give an example. He was supposed to teach me and 3 other students a course in seismology, but he was never around. He was apparently very busy attending important meetings and such. Basically, he believed that you could read textbooks in your spare time to learn seismology, but if you really wanted to learn marine seismology from him, you go to sea with him. Now, working with him at sea was not a simple matter. The kind of routine that Ewing installed on Lamont Doherty ships would not be possible today. We were doing seismic reflection work. The air gun had not been invented. For source, we made up a half-pound charge of dynamite, stuck a fuse in it, lit it, and threw it over the side into the sea where it exploded. We did this every 3 minutes, round the clock, from port to port for several weeks at a stretch. If, as you threw the charge, now this took about 15 seconds before it exploded, if you threw the charge, it got tangled up in the rigging and blew up. You'd be the first person to find that out, and also the first person to get blown up. We did try to be careful. Yes, it was dangerous work, but Ewing did not let any danger or obstacle stand in his way to get scientific data. He was able to get the first-order distribution of sediments in all the oceans of the world by this method. I'm very proud that this award has been named after him, and if he had been here, he would have been very proud that the award went to one of his students. The other very special person was my wife. All marine geophysicists' wives have to be special because their husbands go off to sea for large amounts of time. She was 23 years old with a 3-month-old baby in a country where she had no relatives, few friends, when she saw me off to go to sea for 4 months to sail on a World War II submarine to make pendulum gravity measurements. This is not a fancy submarine. When it got below 300 feet, it leaked. She did not whine when I left. Rather, she encouraged me enthusiastically because she thought that this was an interesting adventure and an opportunity. These pages do tend to get stuck. Really? She was a playwright, not a geophysicist, and she was always looking forward for ways to help me in my work. When I had to sail in the Norwegian Greenland Sea a few hundred miles from the North Pole, the best way she could think of to help me was to knit the thickest sweater she could think of. She was a constant companion. Much later, like 40 years, when the kids were all grown up and gone, she helped me in the field whenever she could. I particularly remember an occasion when I was working with Dan DiFrancesco and his crew in the Era field near Bakersfield. When his crew did not show up on time, she pitched in and helped stake the measurement sites in blistering heat with temperatures close to 100 degrees. One of the sites where Dan mentions his gradiometer had a repeat of 0.6 atwas was staked by her. Annie passed away 2 years ago. If she were here today, I would have said, couldn't have done it without you. Finally, my friend Bhattacharya in India said to me once, "You have done great things. You could have only done them in America." So I think it is the most proper occasion for me to express my thanks to my adopted country, America, for all the opportunities it has provided me. Thank you.
What a guy. Before concluding this event, I actually have the honor of physically making a presentation. It'll be the final presentation. Christopher Leiner has been an outstanding SEG president for the 2014-2015 term. SEG is well prepared to move forward as a strong professional society, dedicated to serving its members, thanks to the leadership and leadership in challenging times that Christopher has brought to the society this year. Please thank me in thanking Christopher and recognizing his hard work and dedicated service during his presidential term.
Very much.
Who thought it would come to this?
Who would have thought?
The beer cards.
Before I turn to my concluding remarks, I have two requests. And of course, this is going to make the staff nervous because I know they know that they did not write this for me. First, please join me in honoring the SEG staff members with our applause. Second, I'll remind all of our honorees to join Christopher and myself on the stage for a group photograph. This concludes the Honors and Awards ceremony for the Society of Exploration Geophysics. I thank you for joining us in honoring those who've contributed so much to our society. As a professor would say, class dismissed.